Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. There was a brilliant Christian author who lived in the 3rd century named Tertullian, and he said that the Lord's Prayer is a summary of the whole gospel. And he's absolutely right. This petition is illustrated all throughout the gospel. And later on in Matthew chapter 18, there's this wonderful story within a story. Peter comes to Jesus and says, "Rabbi, how many times must I forgive my brother?" And he says, 7 times. And Jesus, of course, says, not 7 times, but 70 times 7. In other words, you must forgive infinitely and perfectly, completely. Jesus then tells this amazing parable of a king who wants to settle accounts with his servants who owe him money. And this first guy owes 10,000 talents. Now, a talent is the equivalent of 20 years of wages. And in New York State, even with minimum wage, that would amount to $560,000. And guess what? The king has mercy on this guy and lets him go free, no questions asked. But then in the next scene, we see the same servant go to his servant, start choking him and demanding the money that he owes him. And because he can't pay for it, he puts him in prison. Do you know how much money it was? It was 100 denarii. And a denarii is 1 day's wage. In New York State, that's about $1,300. And so Jesus ends the parable saying that the king found out about this and gave the first servant, what was coming to him. And then he says, "So also will my heavenly Father do to every one of you if you do not forgive your brother," being handed over to the torturers. This parable is so powerful, but it's not just talk. Christ handed himself over to the torturers for a debt he did not owe. And then on the cross, he cried out, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." We cannot pray the Lord's Prayer, especially this petition, if we have neglected to forgive somebody. We cannot hold on to a grudge. It's as simple as that. This week, as we're meditating on this petition, take time to consider who is the hardest person to forgive in your life. And through these words, pray that God will give you the strength to forgive them. Until next week, enjoy the desert.